Hello Ariza, this is my feedback to your summary from last week. So let's start. In the video, title, okay good, speaker Jeff, name of the speaker, gives advice and states that they lead people who want to be a gig entrepreneur to success. Who are they? You mean the advice he gives? Advice is singular, they is plural. So I think here gives advice and states that, you can just very simply say argues that the advice he can give to future entrepreneurs can lead them to success. And that's all. Gig is a different word here. You probably meant big, to be a, yeah, I don't know. Gig is a totally different word. So this is probably spelling error. Okay, but you have tried, you've included the name of the speaker, the title of the video. I would just recommend say it a little bit more argumentatively. Argues that if they follow his advice, future entrepreneurs can be successful, something like that. Okay, the first thing that he mentions is time management. Sure, according to him, successful people overscheduled. Okay, what is this? Are you trying a passive construction? Are overscheduled, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure what this ed is doing here. According to him, successful people are overscheduled or are very busy, right? So in this case, humans should better organize their time to have the opportunity for free movement. Okay, but that's fine. I understand the idea. Humans is a little bit too broad. Here we are, obviously he's discussing a business context. So who are these humans? Who are the stakeholders in a business context? They would be business owners, entrepreneurs, right? People who want to start a company, company owners, business executives, managers. Human is just way too broad. It includes the whole of humanity, and he's not talking about that. But he does indeed mention time management. However, I think because you only have 200 words and there's a lot to cover, he gives 8 different tips. It will be difficult if you spend so much time on each one of them to fit within the word limit. So you want to economize here as much as possible. So I think one way to combine this is to make it a little bit more succinct, which you will need to do if you want to stick to the word limit. You can say something like, the first tip or the first recommendation he gives is to successful business owners would be to focus on time management, which can allow them the opportunity, which would give them more freedom. That's it, right? So I think a relative clause would be good, which can, which, that means a relative clause. I think that will be a way of making this whole thing a little bit more succinct, right? So for instance, you can use a relative clause, okay, without making it too big, because you simply cannot afford so many words for each single point, right? Further, he claims that finding your passion is one of the most important aspects of success. Sure. The third advice that he gives is to be resourceful in order to be able to find a way out of any situation. Okay, it's a good point that you're raising, but here I would just say to find a way out of any situation is again very broad. We're talking about business, right? So maybe in order to solve complex issues facing your company, you need to be resourceful. You know? Always stick with the business context. So this is again a bit too general. Any situation could be just any situation in the world, and that's not what he's talking about, right? But here you're using cohesive devices. It's very organized. You're just going through the advice one after the other. That's fine. Besides, he also argues that everyone has gifts, but they can only become the key to success if they are improved by hard work. Very good. Here, hardworking is an adjective. So you need either a noun, or if you want to include an adjective, you still need a noun after it. By hardworking what? You know? You can just say hard work here. Okay? So you definitely need a noun. But I like the way you've organized it, and it's very clear. This is important. One after the other, the supporting ideas are very important. The first one was wordy, but after that, you've really said it in a very succinct way, which is really, you have to do that in this kind of summary. So good work. Also, he maintains that in business, you don't have to worry about competitors, but about consumers whose needs must be met. Very good. This is really good. See how you've used a relative clause here. Very nice. Again, this is a clear summary of the supporting idea. At the end of his speech, the speaker gives the last equally important advice. Okay, nice. Which says, again, you've used a relative clause. Very nice. Which says that. Now, the only thing is, says that is kind of a simple reporting verb. So, which is that? Because really the advice cannot say anything, right? So here the word choice can be improved. Gives the last equally important advice, which is that a businessman needs to have a bigger vision in order to make the right plans that really work. Sure, the right plans that really work. Here I would just find a better word here. I understand what you're saying, but to make the right plans that really work, this whole thing is a little bit sort of imprecise. The phrasing is a little bit informal and imprecise. So think about an academic way of phrasing this, right? So you can rephrase this to make it a bit more academic. A business person. By the way, a businessman, we're not talking about businessmen, we're also businesswomen, right? So it would be more polite to say a business person or an entrepreneur or a company owner, like that. But I like the fact that you're talking about business people here and you're not talking about humans, right? Which was very broad. Here, this is precise usage, which is exactly what you need to do. So at the end of his speech, the speaker gives the equally important advice, which is that a business person or a business owner needs to start with a big vision in order to what? In order to achieve their business. What would be a good combination here? A business project in order to achieve their business plan. I think plan could be good here actually. If you say business plan, right? In order to fulfill their business ambitions. How about that? That'd be a good way to put it. Just plans on its own is maybe too general. Business plans is more specific, you see? So, which is that a business person needs to start with a big vision in order to make a company owner or a manager needs to start with a big vision in order to make their business ambitions work. or something like that. Or business plans work. But this is a small point really. It's just about a matter of phrasing. Overall, this is quite a good paragraph, very well organized. Now, I do have to say one thing about here. It's true that that's what he says at the end of his speech. But remember, if you go back to the rubric, you will see that we need the last sentence. The conclusion should summarize the whole lecture. I know it's not a proper lecture. It's several episodes spliced together into one video, but you will still need to make an effort to write the concluding sentence as a summary of the whole video. So the conclusion should summarize the whole video. And so I think you can just go back to kind of the main idea. And this really you can include as a supporting idea, because it's one of the things that he says. So here you can just say, in conclusion, Bezos' advice will help future entrepreneurs. In conclusion, if future entrepreneurs follow Bezos' advice, they will achieve their business ambitions, or something like that, if you want to use this similar phrasing here, right? So first sentence should be argumentative. You've tried with this states that, but I would say argue that is better. Last sentence should summarize the whole thing. In between, you've done an excellent job actually of summarizing the main ideas, the key supporting ideas. So overall, this is a very good paragraph, as always. So I think you have a very solid foundation here, and you should be able to do a good job in the exam. But go back to the rubric. Make sure you go through the rubric, the whole checklist of points, all the bullet points. We call these descriptors. One by one, make sure that you have fulfilled all the requirements that the rubric mentions. First idea is argumentative, reporting verbs, which you have done here very well. Obviously, you have a lot of cohesive devices, argues, that's all very good. Concluding sentence should summarize everything that the rubric mentions. Make sure you've done it. Okay, so good work, Euriza. From now on, I will be giving feedback to the evidence paragraph. Okay, this is the last time I'm giving feedback on a summary. Now we really need to focus on that evidence paragraph. Good luck on the exam.